Okay, I can just have a minute of your time. My name's Marcus and I am a very proud carnivore. Okay, it might surprise a few people, but I was a vegetarian for 14 years until a few years ago, and I started to eat meat again. I wanted to find out as much as possible as I could about the meat I ate, where it came from, how the animals lived, how best to cook it, and all about the different cuts. So I started to write a food blog called Country Wood Smoke, and basically it was my journey in to cover my journey in meat basically. And as I started to try all the different cuts of meat, all the different types of meat, so I started to write this food blog a few years ago, and it's reasonably successful. And through that I met this guy Chris here, and we started doing a few barbecues last summer, and that's the reason this place is here, because we talked and thought it would be good fun to do an indoor sort of barbecue restaurant. So it's very much at the heart of what we were talking about, is very casual dining, sharing food. So like these seafood platters, it's all about a nice big plate of food in the middle and getting stuck in and enjoying it. And I think that's a lovely way to eat. You sit with your friends, your family, get stuck into a big pile of food, and there's not many restaurants do that. We've gone through a bit of a phase of fine dining, and it's been wonderful, but I think everyone's hoping that things get a bit more relaxed, you enjoy food a bit more, you get in touch with your food a bit more, and that's why I'm here sort of helping Chris, and you know, I help him come up with recipes, and we have a lot of fun together. We started doing something called the Secret Barbecue Society, and we like to cook big steaks, big bits of meat over fire, and it's a fantastic way to cook, and it surprises a lot of people in Aberdeen, but the weather's, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, you can cook undercover, or you can cook indoors here, like here. It is possible. You've probably seen in the news, I had a bit of a smoking incident here, and it was a bit unfortunate, but you know, it's just the way it happens sometimes. And yeah, I'm going to do a quick demo of one of my favourite ways of cooking, and it's called dirty. And it's not something that I've come up with particularly. It's something that our ancestors did, cavemen. Nice fire, big chunk of meat in the embers. Now it is a great way to cook, but there's a few caveats. You can't use briquettes, because they've got nasty fillers in, you know, the charcoal briquettes. I don't like to use them. They're filled, they've got like glues and things, and they're compressed to hold them together. So I use lumpwood charcoal, and it's from trees, it's got nothing added to it, so don't use the instant light charcoal, just natural lumpwood charcoal, and you can cook straight on it, so it's nice and clean and hot. So out here I've got a barbecue. If you bear with me, I'm just going to pull this table back a little bit, just because I don't want another smoking fire incident with the fire alarms up there. Okay, so my favourite cuts of steak to cook like this, ribeye. I mean, everyone loves ribeye, I take it. It is one of the best cuts. You know, if you get a good ribeye steak from a good butcher, it's got lovely marbling in, really good flavour, and it's fantastic. These are my other favourite. They're called a hanger steak, and they're from sort of inside the cow. They're quite often thought of as an offally cut, because they're quite strong flavoured, but I think they're absolutely fantastic. Go and ask your butcher for cheaper cuts. Try and you know, instead of just sirloin, instead of ribeye, you know, try different cuts. My other favourite cut of steak for cooking like this is dirty skirt, which sadly we haven't got tonight, but it's a great cut. Okay, so I've got my barbecue here. lid off. Almost a Blue Peter moment. Okay. So as you can tell, I've not done this before in here, but should have what you basically want is a nice layer of good hot charcoal. Okay, so this is lumpwood charcoal, bits of wood that have been charred. Okay, so that's kicking out some real serious heat there. So you get your steaks, hanger steaks, and you put them just straight on like that. Now people say to me when I show them this method, they say, doesn't it get ash on, doesn't it get grit on? I don't think so. I mean, you can see the surface is very clean here. You do get a little bit of the ash on there sometimes, but in some places they actually use that as a seasoning in itself. So I think it adds a lot to the flavour. The thing cooking like this as well is that the meat's in contact with the coals, so you don't get the oxygen to it, so it sits directly on those coals and starts a beautiful char going, and it doesn't burn. So and these normally take a good few minutes, so we'll just sit them on there. So really hot charcoal, and just let it cook. It should hopefully go up there, not to the smoke alarm. Okay, I've got something here that I call my dirty base. Now I did come up